Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Let's Talk Elephants. I'm your host, Destiny Farley, and today I'll be interviewing my good friend, Irene Gayles. I asked Irene to come on the show today to talk about something that we've discussed in conversations over the years and something that I also think has become a more pertinent topic in general in the last few years or so, and that is the topic of interracial versus intraracial dating, which is essentially dating either outside or within your own race. Irene has had difficulty dating both within and outside of her race. She has faced different forms of colorism while dating as a dark-skinned woman, including multiple men making derogatory comments about her skin tone. And this has significantly shaped her perspective on dating. I'm not sure if anyone is super familiar with Dr. Umar, but he's a decent representation of some, not all, but some of her beliefs, especially when it comes to dating within the Black community. But before we get into the nitty-gritty of it all, Irene, can you just, briefly introduce yourself and then maybe start by sharing just kind of like a brief summary of why you believe what you believe when it comes to dating?
So I was born and raised in Stockton, California, and I transferred to Vegas and went to Commodore, where I met you. And I attended, Coronado?
Mm-hmm.
So I went to Commodore, K through 8th in Stockton, and then attended Coronado. And then moved right back to Stockton.
And Stockton is primarily Black, correct? Like the population? Or is it like Hispanic?
Hispanic.
Okay.
So Hispanic is primarily the race there. So then I went from like a predominant Hispanic to predominant white.
Because Coronado is white.
Very white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And you have your massage business, yeah?
Yes, massage therapist over, 7 years now? I went straight to trade school once I left high school here. So, yeah, I've been doing that since.
Okay. And then kind of just tell me a little bit, like break down a little bit why. I mean, I guess you could just kind of tell me like the central tenets of what you believe about dating as a Black woman, like as far as your perspective on dating outside of your race versus dating within your race. Like why you believe what you believe, just as a foundation so people understand.
Yeah. So, I mean, I have a twin brother. So I always kind of had that like comparison of how he was treated in dating compared to me, how a Black man was treated versus how I was. And we're the same skin tone. But he's a man and I'm a woman. And so I kind of always had that sense of like comparison. And like growing up middle school, my brother was always like really popular. He always had crushes. He always had women kind of like admiring him. And I just didn't have that. Like I didn't have not one boy at school who liked me. So I just didn't have that. And then when we came here to Vegas, it literally was the same thing. Same thing. He has women, all the races, still admiring him. He still had crushes. And I still really struggled in high school with dating. And now all of my peers and all my friends, almost everyone kind of had like a boyfriend, like a high school boyfriend, high school sweetheart. And I never had any of that. Mm-hmm. And so I just always like struggled in that realm of dating. And was kind of like awkward once I like got older and kind of left and went back to Vegas because I just didn't have those experiences in high school or middle school.
At that time, like what, as like a child, which is basically what you were when you were going through that, how were you explaining the reason why that was happening? Like why in your head was Leo getting attention and you weren't?
like in middle school, I just kind of, Leo was more outgoing. I was like super shy. I always had like maybe one or two friends. And Leo was always like the popular kid. He, like, everyone knew Leo. And so like I was never bullied in middle school but I just knew as far as like having people, like my first kiss. I didn't have my first kiss until junior year in high school. And that man had a girlfriend, I remember. But I just remember like I kind of wanted to have those experiences because all of you guys were kind of already experiencing those things. And I was kind of late in the game to all of that.
Did you feel like it was because of your skin at all?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Even though like Leo has the same like complexion as you still felt like it was because of your skin tone?
Yeah, I felt like the black men had no issue on getting into relationships. All the black men that I had seen at Coronado had a girlfriend. But when I looked around black women, the few that were there at Coronado that were my like same skin tone, none of us had a boyfriend. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, that was kind of what I dealt with. And I don't know if like any of my peers could relate or kind of even understand. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so what's your perspective on it now?
As far as like
just why you like, what's your preference in dating? Do you prefer to have a black man that you're with? Are you open to exploring other races? Like, what is your preference as a 27-year-old woman?
So, I mean, in high school, because like white guys were the majority, I tried to give it a try. And I think, so I went on one date with a baseball player. And my stepdad, he dropped us off on the date. We went to the movies. We like kissed. We made out. And I remember asking him like because I think this was around like homecoming time. And I was like, oh, if I went to, like, if you took me to your parents' house, like, would they accept me? And he said no. And so I was like, okay. And then I think, so the baseball team ends up making like this song that went viral. And I think he came over to we hung out one other time and he came to my house and I think we made out. We didn't do anything. Like I still had only like had my first kiss, like still had not experienced anything like sexual wise. And a song ends up coming out and I'm like the chorus of the song. And this
your name dropped?
Yeah, my name is in the chorus of the song. So it drops like a bunch of girls. And I remember like moms had petitioned to get like this song taken out, or like, I don't know what it was on, like SoundCloud or whatever it was on. And my name was the chorus and it was like, I heard some hoe Irene gave you slop top. And so that kind of always stuck with me, like me dating outside my race. It always just felt like they just wanted to say they've been with a black girl. Okay. And it always just felt like a fetish. And I think like my freshman year, there was a Mexican guy who liked me. And I don't know why I always remember this. But so this is when we like we lived in Seven Hills and we took the bus and he was like the only like guy who like kind of like gave me a little bit of attention at the time. And he had said, I think on the bus, the J. Cole song, like Wet Dreams, he like sent me the song to listen to. But I just noticed like outside of my race, when I was getting interactions with men, it was always sexual. It was never in a sense of like, oh, like I think you're pretty and I want to get to know you. It was always like very sexual.
Like fetishized. Because men in general, I think, are pretty sexual, you know, like that's, you know, especially in high school, like I wouldn't say it's abnormal to have that experience with men across the board, but you felt like it was specifically because it was like a fetish.
Correct. Okay. I didn't feel like I was admired or like
for who you are.
Yeah, or just like them actually wanting to be my boyfriend. Like you guys had boyfriends. Like you guys met his parents, he met your parents. I knew it, and I would ask these questions and it was like, no, like you can't meet my parents, like you wouldn't be accepted. So it was always in the sense of like, okay, well then what do you want from me? And what you want from me is something sexual. And so I'm like...
Yeah. And so essentially that's why it's safe to assume that you prefer like black men now, because you feel like it's not a fetish. You feel like they're actually just trying to get to know you.
Correct.
Okay.
I mean, even though men are always going to have like...
yeah.
You know, want to be sexual. But with black men, I still felt more of like... more comfortable and safe in a sense of like... they still will bring me around their family. And if they did really like me, like we can be in a relationship. It didn't feel like I was going to be a secret with a black man. But outside of my race, especially in high school, it only felt like they wanted to have a black woman under their notch to say that they fucked a black woman. That's it.
I see. Okay. I mean, that's fair. You know, that's understandable. Dr. Umar, who, you know, it's kind of impossible to summarize his entire belief system in like a short podcast because he has so much content out himself about, you know, just black love and the black community in general. But I did listen to one of the podcasts that you had sent me of his. And in that podcast, and I don't know if this is something that he talks about regularly, but like in that podcast, he talks about this concept of black on black love. And my question is basically like when I think of love in general, like I think of it as transcending like barriers and time and space and like this greater thing that human beings participate in that knows no boundaries or confinements or anything, you know, it's because it's so powerful. So I wonder, like, why have this concept? And I'm not asking it, you know, in a judgmental way. Like, I'm asking it out of genuine curiosity. Like, why have something labeled black on black love versus just a general concept of love? Like, what is special or unique about black on black love that it needs its own title is, I guess, what I'm asking.
Yeah. So I think there's a deeper meaning and responsibility to that. Because I do also believe in love in that same way.
Yeah.
But I think from what I took from it, when we see black men of money and black men of power, we typically see them dating outside their race. And so when, as a black woman and as a black little girl, when you see that, when you see a man like he gets money and he's like elevating in life, it's like, why aren't we being chosen? So I think what he's trying to state is kind of like black men in those positions have a responsibility to the black community, to black girls, because we're looking at them. And if in majority they're turning to outside their race, how does that not make you as a black woman feel like you're not worthy? Because even from my own experience of, you know, my father dating outside his race, I didn't think of it in that way when I was a child. Like,
well, just to clarify, your mom is black.
Yeah, my mom's black.
Okay.
My mom's black, and they divorced, and I had a stepmom who was Mexican. And like loved her. She was great. And I didn't think of it in that way. like as a little girl, because my dad also gave me like those affirmations constantly, like you're beautiful, you know, you're amazing, you're worthy. But when he passed away and then that was gone, and then as I'm growing up and I'm seeing like men who do have money not dating a Black woman, it kind of always made me question my self-worth.
Okay.
And I had to like turn to myself to like, you are worthy, you are enough. But when that becomes the norm, it's kind of just like, you know?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's an interesting conversation for us.
Stop.
Because I have obviously like dated Black men in the past, and so it's extremely interesting to me to hear both sides, because for me personally, I have felt what I can describe, like, and not from you at all,
no,
but in general, like I have experienced what I would label as like animosity from Black women before for dating a Black man. And I try to understand where that comes from. And I think that there is a part of me that like can definitely understand, because like if I were in those shoes, like in different circumstances, I feel like I mean, not on the level of like a race, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even I guess, but it would be like if, for example, I had a boyfriend, I had a partner, and he's like constantly liking pictures on Instagram of girls that look nothing like me, like maybe like blonde hair, blue eyes, skinny, short, and like that's like obviously a preference of his. And then if that were to be amplified, like if the people that I was most attracted to consistently liked something that was not me, I think that would make me feel some type of way, you know? But it's also hard because, like, would you say that it happens more often than not that a Black man in power prefers a white woman or a Mexican woman or an Asian woman or someone who's not Black? Like, would you say that that's the general trend? Or is that something that, like, because I still feel like you do see Black people choosing other Black people. So I'm like trying to understand like why all of a sudden it's become a bigger issue, because like I don't have the numbers, I don't have the statistics.
Yeah, same.
So I don't know like how prevalent it is, but I do know that when I'm like on Instagram and I'm looking at, you know, let's say like if I follow Complex and it's a celebrity, a Black celebrity, like a Black man, there's all these comments talking about, oh, he plays in the snow, or like, you know, like it's comments like that. And that makes me almost feel like I'm doing something wrong. You know, like it makes me feel like uncomfortable. And I experienced it a lot, like in the South, which we've had this conversation, where when I would walk into like buildings or restaurants or just down the street in that city in the South, it was like I've never experienced, because I've grown up on the West Coast. So I've never experienced an environment where white people and Black people were looking at me some type of way because he's Black and I'm white. So it's like, it was like a culture shock for me, because I'm so used to that being a non-factor, being something that I didn't even pay attention to or consider because it happens so much out here. Whereas I didn't realize down there it's like not normal or common.
Correct.
Probably because of the history there.
Correct.
But I don't know how to feel about that. It kind of makes me feel out of place. Like, so I get both sides, because I can empathize with, especially like what you're talking about with like growing up and not having an example of, you know, someone that you're attracted to choosing you, especially like with your dad passing away, when that was such a big source of affirmation for you, and to lose that. But I also know like I loved him just like for who he was. It had nothing, it wasn't a fetish. It just happened to be that, like, you know, I'm technically biracial if you consider like being Hispanic, like being Puerto Rican, and then my mom is white.
Yeah.
But you know, like most people consider me a white girl, whatever, which is fine. like, it just happened to work out that way. But like now there's this big conversation around it. And it's just interesting to me because we're talking about love here. You know, we're talking about people choosing other people that they love and it being an issue. So I guess that's where it's like, and you're not really like one of the people that I feel like is super loud or hateful or spiteful about it, like whatsoever. That's not representative of who you are. But there are people like that. And it's like confusing for me. Do you feel the same way when you see like a Black woman with a white man? Like, do you have different feelings towards that?
I don't have different feelings. Black woman, white man, Black man, white woman. I just think I've only being from California and Vegas dealing with these type of men because it is such on the regular, the mix. What is triggering for me is when, and I only hear this in my race. I only hear a Black man saying he would never date a Black woman. Like he's dated a Black woman. He's had a terrible experience. And he's like, I'm never dating a Black woman anymore. That is what triggers me. Okay. Because you do not hear that from any other race. You do not hear a white man. You don't hear an Asian man. You don't hear a Mexican man. You might hear a Mexican man or a white man or an Asian man say like, oh, they prefer a Black woman, like that's their preference, but you would never hear them say they would never date their own race. And I only hear that in my race of Black men and have heard that growing up, have been hearing that as an adult.
Why do you think that is?
Because I think in our culture, mind you, most of us grow up without a father figure. And so most of us are growing up with a single parent home. And I think that comes with its challenges because I do believe a woman needs like love from her father and a man like needs the love from his mom. So I think we face challenges that make it hard for us to like come together. I think other races can see more of like Hispanics have more of like a upbringing of like seeing a mom, a family system. And so, you know, even in my dynamic of like how women and our daughters are kind of raised like tougher, like we're raised to grow up more. And also if you're single parent or single, if the mom is, you know, single moms kind of spoiled their sons. And so Black men, and I have a twin brother, babied, you know, kind of late in the game on maturity, and men mature later anyways.
Yeah.
And so I just think we have these challenges that make it hard for us to be together. And I think it's kind of probably seen as easier to be with other races because they grew up seeing different. They had homes.
So what do you mean by that, though? Like, when you say easier, like, what do you think Black men are trying to avoid when they say, like, oh, I'm not going to date a Black woman? Like, what stereotypes do you think that they are putting on Black women when they say that? And do you think any of them are warranted, or do you think all of it's just, like,
I mean, I think some of it's warranted, like... but like, say the question again. Like
when Black men are saying, oh, I'm never going to date a Black girl again. Why are they saying that? Like, what are they avoiding? Like, what was their negative experience? Do you think that, like, why do they say things like that?
Right. 'Cause I think we're more, we're more vocal about like, and I think when you see someone who's like your skin tone and your color, I just think we're more vocal about things. And so versus other races, I believe they're a little bit, they allow more. And so now it becomes like we're nagging, and now we're kind of like seen as their mother, and a man doesn't want his mother. And so I just feel like they turn away from us because now they see us as their mom.
Okay.
Because I feel like we have a lesser tolerance than other races because we've also grown up seeing single moms. Like, we can handle it. We can do it ourselves. And so, like, we're okay in being single versus other races are like, they grew up like, even if it's toxic, they're going to stick by their man and put up with shit. Mm-hmm. They know that they got to put up with some shit to be with that man. And I just think they kind of turn away from us in that sense because we are more vocal than other races. And I believe other races allow more because that's also what they've seen to kind of keep up.
I feel like that it's probably not like a race thing. I mean, there are cultural differences for sure across different races. Like, Hispanics, though, are, like, for example, are known for being very passionate and very, like, I know Hispanic women that don't put up with shit, you know?
But they will stay.
And are like, but you don't think that there's Black women that stay too?
No, I mean, there's nuances in
yeah, but like you're talking like by and large and like as a generalization. And I do see what you're saying about like submissiveness, you know, like but when it comes to like, if we're talking, for example, about Black men with money and power, which is where like the attention was kind of focused like initially at the beginning of the episode, there's a lot of women of a lot of different races that are going to turn the other cheek and sit pretty in their house with their lifestyle regardless. Yeah. Black women included. Yeah. And so that's the only reason why I play devil's advocate, because I'm like, maybe it's less about, I just get so nervous talking about this stuff, bro, because I'm like, I don't want to get canceled. Because I'm not.
I know, it's a lot. But.
Well, maybe what I was going to say is maybe it's about like, not necessarily the unwillingness to put up with something, but maybe it's the delivery. Like, could it be the way that they're going, like that it's being addressed, right? Like, could that be a part of the issue? Because when I'm watching some of, like these clips that come up on TikTok or whatever, and I'm not a Black man and I'm not a Black woman, so I can't speak to this. I would have to ask you, but it's them talking about the approach and the way that Black women talk to Black men or disrespect them, that Black men feel disrespected by them because they don't put up with anything, but they also, women might see it, oh, we don't put up with anything, but the men see it as being emasculated. That's the trend that I've seen. I don't know what the reality of it is because I'm neither here nor there, but that's what I've seen the narrative be. So do you feel like where is the truth somewhere in the middle? Like, have you experienced and seen like Black women that you do feel like don't respect their men or emasculate their men? Or do you feel like that is a total overgeneralization and stereotype that is like not true at all? And maybe not specifically for you, because like I know how you are as a person, but I'm saying like in general.
In general, I would see like where they're coming from.
Okay.
Like,
okay.
But like I said, because.
But it's probably hard for you because you're not like that. And
I know.
So you're like, I don't want to be grouped together with people that are like that, because you're very level-headed and like effective at communicating and calm and level-headed, just all of it. Yeah. You know, so I can understand why it would be hard to like throw yourself in a category that you don't feel like you're a part of.
Yeah, but it's still just like to full on say, like, mind you, I have had terrible experiences with Black men. I would never say I would never date a Black man again. Right. It seems like every other race is very race loyal other than Black men. Like, Black women, we put up with shit. We would never say we might go off and try to date other races and see if they're treating us better. But that's like the last result. Like, we're going to stand by our black men until like, oh my God, okay, we can't find one. Mm-hmm. And then we'll date outside our race and see if that works for us. But we still would never put down the black man and say, oh, just out of all my bad dating experience with a black man, I'd never date a black man again.
Yeah.
I only hear that in black men. And that's what's triggering for me.
So you feel like it's not them just dating out of preference. It's them almost dating in spite of you guys.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's hard.
Correct.
Because it's one thing if you feel like that's just what they like. It's
Correct.
another thing when you feel like they're doing it to avoid you.
Correct.
Yeah.
When I'm like literally like the opposite in that too. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if that's just like a Cali, that's definitely, it's more prevalent in California black men. Now, when I've gone to other states.
You're like, get me to the South.
So it's different because, even like visiting Chicago is very, like, it is very segregated. And so the black men are very like to their black women.
Yeah, but you say that like it's a good thing. You say that like the segregation is a good thing. Do you want that? I mean, you can be honest.
But not that it's a good thing, but I just think there's so much history. And so there still is more of like, like a black man being with a white woman, you're kind of still looked at like, mm-hmm. Versus in California, it's the normal thing. And so being a black woman dating in California is really hard because they're now like they have all the options and it's still just like we don't. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
Yeah. So it doesn't upset, and like you can be totally honest because it doesn't mean you're racist. Let me just like put it out there. Like it does not mean that you're racist towards anybody, but like when you see like a white girl and a black man or a Hispanic girl and a black man like together, does it upset you? Like does it make you feel some type of way?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. In
my
any
mom
context?
My mom texted me.
Go ahead. Hit me with it.
I think she was on the plane. She's like, yet another brother.
Yeah.
It triggers us. But mind you.
So did it upset you with me?
Not really, no.
Okay. Why? Because you just know me? Or like why wouldn't it upset you?
Like if the man is mixed, like, and if he had a white mom, I do feel like
it's different.
It's different.
Because he kind of grew up around like white people.
If you're mixed, it's kind of like,
Mm-hmm. So do you prefer dark-skinned men too? Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. So you're not attracted to light-skinned men?
I'm attracted. And I would like if you're black, you're black. Like he's still black. Yeah. But still, like if he has a white mom, it still just it does not bother me. And maybe because you are my friend. Yeah. Like, it just doesn't bother me. But if I do see it, Does
it bother you more if it's a man with money, like a black man with money?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, if he does have, if you start celebrity or, a person with money, yes, it does kind of bother me.
Yeah. Do you think that as a black woman, you are able to understand black men in a way that other women are not? Like non-black women?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How so?
I just think the way we grow up, just family, I just still, and just, there's just, when someone mirrors you and looks like you, there's just this, natural connection of understanding.
But you don't think it's possible for like them to open up and share that with someone and have someone understand, maybe not understand it through a lived experience, but like empathize or sympathize with it?
Yeah, they can empathize and like sympathize, yes.
Yeah. But you just think you understand it on a deeper level because you've lived it.
But that does not mean I'm like right for him because I understand him on that level.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. But
yeah,
I do think there's just, you can recognize there's a certain level of, we recognize each other, and we, especially in America. So, yeah.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question? If you see a black man dating a light-skinned woman, does it still make you feel some type of way? Or less than if it was a white woman? It's okay. It's okay. It's your feelings. You know, like, it doesn't mean you're racist towards anybody. It's just like a lived experience that you had because you don't see yourself in these people.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. Like,
if it's a light-skinned woman, it doesn't bother you?
No.
Okay.
No.
Just if it's...
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just if it's...
Even though you've had some experiences, which I'd like you to talk about that as well, but like some experiences about men making comments about like being dark-skinned, it still doesn't bother you when you see like black men dating light-skinned women. It's not triggering for you at all because of those comments?
No, but also probably my own dating history, I have seen the black men that I have dated, and like 2 of them I think are married, but for some reason couldn't go to the next level of having a relationship with me. And then I see them in a relationship with a Mexican woman, now married. And when it becomes like this repeated pattern, and it has been my repeated pattern dating, where, they couldn't give me commitment, they couldn't give me a relationship, and yet now he's with this Asian girl, and he's in a relationship with her, or now he's married to this Mexican woman. And whatever the case may be, that's been my consistent pattern dating these California men.
So you internalize it as it's like because of your skin.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because it's still just like, why am I not good enough?
Yeah.
What am I not doing?
Yeah.
How am I, and how can I not? Like, how can I not? When that is the consistent, it's not like they're going off and dating another black woman. I see them with a Mexican woman, a white woman, whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. My ex went off and dated an Asian woman and literally told me like how they're more subservient and better.
What are some comments, like if you don't mind sharing, like what are some comments that you've heard about like your skin tone that have made you feel like some type of way?
Well, so this was the most recent one, but I was dating my skin tone, black man, and I think it was like our second date, and this man already has kids. He has 3 sons, and I don't know how he stated how if he has all sons and he wants a daughter. But he said, and like his last son is like light skin, and his other 2 sons are dark skin. And he said if he could, he would like prefer all his sons to be like dark skin black men. And if he were to have daughters, he would prefer them to be light skin.
Knowing that you're not going to give him light skin babies.
And we had this whole conversation about colorism and how I don't know how you don't think I can take what you said and not feel like I'm good enough and not feel like I'm beautiful, because you're basically saying you don't want your daughter to look like me.
Yeah.
Like
inadvertently he's saying that. Yeah. And what was his explanation?
He said he was saying how Black women don't wear like how he has seen dark-skinned women not wear, like dark-skinned women don't wear their real hair. And you only see like light-skinned women wear their hair. And so he wants his daughter to be confident in wearing her real hair. And so he wants a light-skinned daughter for that reason. And I said...
He's basically just admitting he would make a dark-skinned daughter feel insecure.
Correct.
About her hair.
Correct. And I'm like...
I'm dead, bro. And so he basically gave you a hard time about it and made you feel like
this was like our second date, and we had several conversations and never moved forward because we could not get on the same page about how this is like how slavery has like this goes like masculinity is associated with like skin, like you want dark skinned sons because that's like associated with masculinity. And you want light-skinned daughters because the closer to whiteness is associated with beauty. And so that, like...
He's internalizing that without realizing it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Same what, like, I have a twin brother. You know, my skin tone and darker. So... You know, everyone wants a masculine man. Why the Black man is the most admired man. But us Black women are still presumed as the most desired and beautiful. And I have always experienced that.
Has it like really impacted your self-esteem, you think?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially growing up where the hell I grew up.
Yeah.
Like being in predominantly, always being the minority. Like, you know, that's why it felt so good to me being in, like, around my people and Juneteenth and, like, being in Chicago and, like, not a white person in sight. Like,
you're gonna get us canceled. It's okay. It's fine. I know how you mean it.
But, you know, like, it just feels...
I'm going to clip just that. Be like, cancel her. Racist on my podcast. I'm just kidding.
It has the most views ever.
Literally, probably would. People would be like, why would she post this? But anyways, as you were, not a white person in sight.
Not a white person in sight, but... Shoot, what was I even fucking saying?
Juneteenth, being around your people.
Yes.
Like, you didn't feel like you stuck out.
No, yeah, I felt comfortable and, like, you know, it was such a different feel.
Yeah, like you felt like you belonged, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah. I did.
Yeah.
Versus I've always been, like, the odd man out and just trying to fit in and mold in and kind of blend in and not be too out there because I'm already the only one. So I've always tried to just blend in as much as I possibly could. But, like, I'm not meant to blend in. Like, I'm supposed to. But that confidence took time to build up.
Yeah.
But then, you know, you start gaining that confidence and then you start dating.
Yeah.
And then things constantly are getting reiterated why you're not good enough. It's like you build that confidence, it gets knocked right back down. But every single time it kind of just brushes off your shoulder a bit more. Because I'm also realizing their own mental
self-hatred.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, no, you have self-hatred for yourself and you don't even see it.
Yeah.
Because this man talked major crap about his first baby mama, who's a Black woman, but had a whole 9-10 year relationship with a white woman. And so, you know, it's like this is it. It doesn't matter if all of your kids are black, and then what? He marries a white woman. How is that going to make them feel?
Yeah.
When she's the one who gets married, but you make children
with a black woman,
with all black women.
Yeah, and I totally see that. If you were to have kids, would you raise them like encouraging them to date other black people, or would you kind of just let them figure it out on their own?
I'd let them figure it out on their own.
Yeah.
But like, it's mostly about loving like your skin tone, loving yourself, like, and the rest will follow. I don't really care like who my kids come home with.
What would you do differently for your daughter that you feel like you didn't have, like, growing up? Like, how would you make her feel pretty? Probably some things that your dad did, too. But
yeah.
But, like, what does that look like?
I just think there just has to be more conversations. Like, I just think, and no, like, trying to blame my mom. But I think when you're so right, and my mom was young when she had us, but it's like you're trying to survive. When you're trying to survive and you're trying 5 kids, when you're trying to make sure we have like food on the plate, we're clothed and fed and all that stuff, you're not parenting. And so it's like you're not right. And now my mom had us early in life, and then she had my siblings. My siblings are like, it's like a 13-year age gap. So they're like they're 13, we're 27. And so you see that like she has more stability now. And I see how she talks to my little sister, and I'm like, oh, are you having? My sister was called a monkey at school by this white boy. She gets called to go out. She has to leave class. Nothing was done to him. And so I've grown up with this. Has happened to me before. No new experience, but no one had time to sit down with me and like talk to me, give me like those affirmations. My mom's old. She's older now, more established. She has that time to parent and to have these conversations. But when we were growing up, we're trying to survive. Like,
and do you feel like your mom passed some of these beliefs down to you because of your dad being with a Mexican woman after her? Like, do you think your mom was kind of bitter and passed it down to you, like, without you realizing it?
Yeah. I mean, she was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You think you would still have these beliefs if that didn't happen? Like, do you think you'd still pay attention to it and notice it just because they don't look like you? Or do you think you would pay less attention to it if that hadn't happened with your mom and dad?
No, I would have my same beliefs because I've had my own experiences. Yeah. Like, it didn't really, like, I thought she was amazing. Literally love her to this day. So I just didn't, and I knew my dad loved her. He didn't see any, like, he loved her too. So I wasn't looking at it in that way. But growing up now and having my own experiences with men leaving me for Mexican women, like, no, that's my own pain and hurt. Yeah. Like, because it's like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, I understand that. And I mean, that's valid. Like, that's totally separate. I mean, you can't totally separate it from your mom's experience because that was a part of your childhood and you grew up witnessing that and experiencing that. So it's kind of hard to detach that from when you see it happen in like real life, even if it's on a subconscious level. Like, it's like, oh, I feel like my mom, you know, like on a subconscious level, like, oh, I understand my mom now. But I do understand like 100% where you're coming from. What are some things that you wish people understood more in general about like dating as a Black woman or the struggles that you face dating as a Black woman? What do you feel like people just don't get?
I I think obviously like naturally we're seen as independent or, you know, aggressive, and like assertive, masculine maybe. But at the end they were a woman. Like all women want to be loved at the end of the day. All women want to feel beautiful. All women want to feel pretty. All women want to feel admired. All of us do. And from as a dark skinned woman, like, and I'm from like my skin tone, medium to even darker. And I have a friend who's darker than me. We all have our own insecurities when it comes to it because it's in, you know, California. I'm going to just say California, and Vegas. But because we did not have, like, I'm sure you had a little boy in high school, you know, middle school, high school, you had a boyfriend, you had those, like, you had guys admire you. And we don't, it's like few far and maybe none in between. Mm-hmm. I had absolutely none growing up from maybe kindergarten because no one sees color in kindergarten.
Yeah.
And you have a little, you know, you're just playing. Mm-hmm. It's just like who's playing with you. Mm-hmm. But from when I'm from like 5th grade to 8th grade to not have one boy like have a little crush on, like we would have little... to bring me back to my freaking Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
We would have, it's gonna make me cry thinking about it.
It's okay.
But, because it's so stupid.
It's not stupid.
Honestly.
It's not stupid. If you still think about it, it's definitely not stupid.
But Valentine's Day, like you would make, like a little candygram box. Mm-hmm. And I think during like recess, like you would like, you know, you would slip it, you'd pay like 50 cents and you'd like slip it in like, now the teachers would always make sure every student had one. Mm-hmm. And then my aunt was a teacher at my school. So she would always buy me one. And then I always had like my best friend, Lizette. Mm-hmm. Both my best friends were like Mexican girls. Mm-hmm. Lizette and Rebecca would like get me a little candygram each friend, but I would never have one from a boy. Mm-hmm. I have a twin brother, constantly comparing. Leo had every little Mexican girl giving him a candygram in the class. I did not have that.
Yeah.
That was not I didn't have anyone admiring me.
Yeah.
So then high school.
Oh, it makes me sad for you, Irene.
High school.
But you're such a good person. Like,
oh, I know that.
I know. But this is the reason I say that is because you having that experience is unfortunately what has made you like such a great person, like to this day. You know, like building that. You didn't deserve it. Like nobody deserves that. Mm-hmm. But I think that I'm just trying to find like the silver lining in that you are so considerate and so compassionate. And you notice, yeah, because you didn't have that.
Correct.
And so you at least give that to other people.
Correct.
But I'm really sorry that that was your experience. It breaks my heart for you, for little Irene, you know?
Oh my God, yeah. And I have to be nicer to her because I constantly forget my self-worth in dating and stumbling in dating and accepting less because it always feels so few far in between on when I'm gonna get someone that I like.
Yeah.
It never feels like it's an excess flow. Like, oh, I have all these options. It's never felt like that. So when you're dating in fear, when you're like in fear of, you cling on to people because you're like,
am I gonna find another?
Am I gonna find someone else that I like? You know, because my options have always been so scarce.
Yeah.
And so I've had to like realize like, damn, my options have been so scarce. So now I'm like, when you're like dating desperately and like clinging on to the bare minimum of men because it's like, well, this is better than nothing.
Well, if it's any consolation, I can tell you that I'm not black and there's not shit out here for me either.
You know?
So, Damn, dude. Well, so what advice would you give to other Black women that are dating right now and are experiencing the same things as you? Like, if sometimes, like, it's nice to, like, it's an exercise my therapist makes me do where it's like, okay, if it was a friend that was going through this and experiencing this, what would you say to that friend? Like, what advice would you give? And then I'll tell you after why she tells me to do that.
What advice would I give to that friend?
Like, if it was someone that came to you, looks like you, sounds like you, experiencing all the same things as you, and is frustrated and, like, wanting to give up on dating, like, what would you tell them besides give up?
Right. I don't know. I think you have to build, like, that sexual discipline of not craving that, and because it's gonna be lonely. Like, it can be lonely, but I also think it's better to truly be with someone who really cares about you and is putting forth that effort, then just to, because in the long run, you still suffer from just accepting, like, that moment of, like, reassurance and that moment of, like, unloneliness, to feel good in that moment. And it
can make you feel worse sometimes, honestly.
Yeah.
Like you're a means to an end for them, or less value.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. And that's across the board, I think, as a woman.
Correct.
Like,
that's everyone right now.
Yeah.
Like,
it's scary out here. Like, it is
black or white.
Moral of the story, there's not shit out here, guys.
No.
Well, I appreciate you sharing. Is there anything that, like, I didn't ask you or that I didn't cover that you feel like is important to touch on when it comes to, like, interracial or intraracial dating?
No, I think as long as it's on both sides, I think if, like, you know, people are going into it for the right reasons.
It's genuine.
And if it's genuine and it's not because they're trying to use him or use her, because also Black men will use white women or other races just because it can just be easy. Maybe they have the money or whatever the case may be. So also, just as long as it's genuine, but also just as Black men, just, like, being careful with your words, especially if you've been scarred from a Black woman, not putting that on the next Black woman, like she's done something to you, and like giving everyone that same amount of grace, as you would do everyone.
Yeah.
And still just, like, knowing that every woman wants to be admired and desired. And we all want to be loved at the end of the day. Like, we all want the same things. No one's against each other.
Yeah.
That's the main things.
Yeah.
Like, Black men just have to do better in, like, how they talk to Black women. Because out of every race, we deal with the most, especially if she's living in California where, you know, certain parts, she's going to have more insecurities than the average woman, because of how any Black I could talk to, we all have the same experience. If you grew up in California in a diverse, we all have our own insecurities. So Black men have to, like, realize that, because my twin brother, they just don't. They didn't have to deal with that. Mm-hmm. They were admired. They can't understand our scarcity in men when they had plenty and plethora. Every race wanted them, us on top of everyone else.
Yeah,
it's not like all the races wanted us and the Black men. It's, you know.
Yeah.
So I just think they have to have that understanding.
The patience. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like your message about just like love being a universal thing. Like it doesn't matter about like skin or experience or history or belief system. Like that, I just believe like the fundamental purpose of human beings is to just love. And the world needs more of it. And I appreciate you sharing your story and opening up about everything. If you guys have any more questions for Irene or want to continue the conversation, I will have her contact information available along with the details of this episode. And I will see you all again in 2 weeks to talk more elephants.